So today we are finally going to be ruining the S15. Right now it looks like a Monster Jam monster truck. So today we're finally going to be rolling the fenders, tucking the harness, taking all the fender liners out, installing some used coilovers that John gave me off his S15. We'll overlay a picture of his car. But basically the story behind that is he's rich as hell. So he bought 326 coilovers. He felt bad that I'm broke. So he said, here you go, bro. I got you with some free hand-me-down coilovers. So temporarily, we're going to be throwing these on the S15. We're going to max them out, and then we're going to throw some OG bronze LMGT4's in mint condition on. So before we could throw the LMGT4's on and slam the car, we had to do some prep. So the first thing we're going to do is jack the car up and roll the fenders. To do that, what I like to use is not a fender roller 100% of the way, but I like using a fender roller just to get the lip kind of started to roll. And then after that, I like using rubber hammers to basically get it the rest of the way so you don't accidentally pull the quarters. And for that, I got some nice East Wing ones, a little 12 ounce and a 24 ounce. So that'll take care of rolling the fenders. Then we're actually going to take the front fenders off of the car. And if you guys watched a video I uploaded a long time ago of tucking the harness on my S14, which is right there, I actually notched the frame using a hole saw to tuck the harness up higher. So we're going to do that too, just because I don't want to rub through the harness. And I made the mistake of ordering a bunch of garbage and not ordering what I need. So I forgot to buy a harness shield for this car. So hopefully it just survives the trip to RAF and back, because the car is going to be at gallery at RAF. If this video came out after RAF, sorry you guys missed out. Unless you came, then I love you. But yeah, let's jack the car up and start ruining it. What do you think? All right, and I got Champa to help me. So hopefully we actually get stuff done today and it doesn't take 4 days to do. Back is fine. E-brake's up. Champa put a chalk though. It's like gas doesn't make a difference. Oh, the spacer too. So me, Champa, and the camerawoman are trying to figure out what these wheels are. They did come on the car from Japan, and they have no branding on the front, no branding on the rear, because we did take it off the other side and we saw there's no writing at all. So if anyone knows what these are, please let us know. It doesn't really matter too much because we're going to throw it into a bush somewhere on 880. So if you want it, just look on 880 North. But yeah, we're going to keep going. We got the car on all fours with the wheels off. Now Champa is going to go knock out the front end by taking all the fender liners out, consisting of like this front section right here that goes all the way down here to the back. And the reason for that is because when you lower these cars, you're just going to basically rub through it in the front, back, and top. And on top of that, we have the harness up here. So after we're done knocking out the rear fender rolling, we're actually gonna take the fenders off and tuck the harness. But while Champa's doing all that, I'm gonna go on ahead and basically clean out all the dirt that could get trapped right here between the two pieces of metal that we're gonna roll, just like with some glass cleaner and a rag. And then I'm gonna use the fender roller, start bending this up. If the camera woman could come up right here. You could see that this lip right here has like a 90-degree angle. So what I'm gonna do first is go in with the fender roller bolted here to the hub, and then just knock this down to like maybe 45 degrees. And then after that, I'll finish it off with a hammer. But yeah, obviously you don't wanna have any dirt up here because it'll get trapped and you'll see like little dents on the outside of the chassis. So let's start knocking stuff out. Yeah, see, look, no more friction. So you know it's good. You don't wanna crack the paint. So when you heat it up, it becomes a lot more flexible and less prone to cracking. And you also want to do this on the hottest day you could get because it makes it so it doesn't drop temperature hella fast, which is why we're trying to do the rears first before the sun goes down and gets cold. It's not cracking. I don't know what that noise is. I think it's a fender roller making that noise. Amazon special, 30 bucks next day. I'm crying already. Tears of joy. The freaking fender roller is garbage and it's seized up. There you go. See how I'm having to turn it like this? So I made it this far without cracking the paint. How much further do you think I could make it? Because it will happen. It's inevitable when you try to roll it as flat as we're trying to get it. I'm out of breath. In the amount of time it took me to roll the rear quarters, Chamba got all the front suspension out and the fender liners out because he's way quicker than me. But now when you look here in the rear, it's not perfectly flat, but it's pretty good. And the best part is, since I took my time with it with the camera woman, we did not crack any bit of paint. Like, I might have to put a flashlight, huh? Okay, look. Here you go with the flashlight. You guys can see none of the paint cracked. It's all there. It's perfect. It's flat. And then we could come over to the other side. The same thing. None of the paint is cracked and it's perfectly flat. The secret to this is basically take your time, put a lot of heat to the point that you're thinking you're burning the paint, and then just go a little bit past that. Start off with a fender roller at like a very shallow angle, basically at like 30 degrees, go to 45, then 60, and then once you get to that or past that stage, take the fender roller out, go in with the nice like East Wing 24-ounce hammer. I recommend using this black section because it's way softer than the red and the yellow on the lighter hammer, and knock it down a lot. And then after that, finish it off with the 12-ounce, either using the yellow or the red side, depending on how much you need to move the material. Because this hammer has a red and a yellow cap, it's actually way harder over rubber. So it's like, you have a higher chance of cracking the paint, but you're gonna be able to move the metal a lot easier, even though this is half the weight of this hammer. So for bulk, for finishing. And after that, you'll have perfect quarters that are not pulled, look OEM from the outside, and are rolled. I haven't done the front yet, but the fronts are easy. Now me and Chamba are gonna throw the coilovers into the car. So John sent me a picture of what his car looked like with these coilovers, and I'm not gonna lie, it looked like a fucking weenie. So we lower the coilovers probably another ½ an inch, and we're gonna hope that's where we want it. Worst case, we could lower it some more on the car. But yeah, thankfully, if it is too high, we didn't do the harness yet, so that'll be the excuse. But let's see what it looks like, right? So it's nighttime, but we got daylight because we forgot we own shop lights, which could have came in handy in the video before this and every other video on the channel. But me and Chamba just took all the hardware out to take the bumper off, and the reason we're taking the bumper off is because we had to take the fender off. And the reason we're taking the fender off is, if you guys look down here, you could see the harness for the car, which is gonna rub because the tire is gonna hit it if we lower it like this. So what we're gonna do is basically notch the frame right here and then move this harness over and on top of the frame rail. And if you guys are, I don't know, OGs to the channel, I hate that, but if you guys are like, if you guys have been watching the channel for a while, you guys would have seen I did the same thing on my white S14. The only difference is because that car is left-hand drive, it was on that side, and because this car is right-hand drive, the harness is on this side. But yeah, same concept. We're gonna take the fender off, notch the frame, move it over, and put it all back together. But if you guys want to see a detailed version of how to do that, we're gonna link the old video I did on the S14 up there. But yeah, cringe time, let's take the bumper off. Ta-da. Oh yeah, I'll come off with the skirt. Ta-da. Harness is tucked. Now we're just gonna throw the fender back on and call it a day. Or I think it's too late to do the rear, huh? So last night, me and Chamba finished up the front end of the car. We got the coils in, we got the harness tucked, we got the fender on, we got the front section of the skirt on. The only things we don't have on the car yet are the headlight on this side and the front bumper. And my reasoning for that is because I actually do have a headlight restoration kit from Y-Square/Berman/326. So I'm debating doing that right now, even though we don't really have time for it. So the camera woman's kind of mad at me about that. But what we're gonna start working on right now is the rear of the car. We already have the quarters rolled, so now all we have to do is swap out these undercoated factory struts for some hand-me-down teens from John. And what I already tried doing was lowering these off the car, but these bottom collars are stupid seized. So what I'm hoping that I could do is just bolt them on the car, and then have the car holding it in place for me to break the coiler loose, hopefully. So yeah, what I'm gonna do right now is just go inside the car, take off the parcel shelf that we installed in the last video we showed of the car where we deleted the third brake light, and from there I'll be able to access the bolts to drop the top of the coilover right here. And then I'll go on ahead and undo the one at the bottom, it'll pop off. And because the car has all factory arms in the rear, meaning no adjustable, like no aftermarket adjustable toe arms or camber arms, the alignment's probably gonna look stupid. It's probably gonna have a bunch of toe in and a bunch of negative camber, but I'm broke. I don't have money for arms. We're just gonna run it and throw a fat spacer and look like a stance kid. I mean, the car's automatic. It's literally a stance car at this point. But yeah, let's get to work. How do you get this? So we got the coils all wrapped up on the car. I ended up lowering it about an inch lower than where John had it on his car. So hopefully it's not a monster truck. If it is, I think we do have some more room to go down. But for the wheels that we're going to be running on this car, I got some OG bronze LMGT4's. And the specs on these, if anyone is curious, is 18x9 plus 22. And one interesting thing for those of you guys with a good eye, you might notice is the front pair have closed dot Nismo logos, and the reason for that is because they're from 2005. And then the rear pair have open hole Nismo logos, and that's because they're from 2008. The only difference is the logo on the Nismo badge. They're the same exact color, same exact spec, same exact everything, and they have no curb rash. They're perfect. But for tire sizes, I decided to go with the 215/35 Volino Griva in the front and a 225/35 Advan Fleva in the rear. The reason behind that is because I wanted it to be pretty stretched so I don't buckle the front fenders, and I wanted clearance for the rear so the rim could poke out a decent amount. But the thing is, these stupid Advans run stupid wide, so there's like no stretch in the rear. So now I have a small sidewall, no stretch. It's like the exact opposite of what I wanted, but whatever. And then to bolt these on the car, I got some Nismo lug nuts locally for a good deal, which I didn't want to run Nismo everything, but I needed lug nuts. I went on Marketplace, someone was selling those for $100, picked them up. But yeah, we're gonna throw these on the car, we're gonna put the car down and check the fitment. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully I don't need to keep going back and forth and messing with it because I'm feeling kind of lazy, and the more energy I have, the more I'm willing to put effort towards installing these, which are Y/326 power headlight lenses for the S15. I'm trying to make sure I don't show my address on accident. For those of you guys that look online and you see that headlight restoration kit for S15s, you will see 326 and Y-square. You'll notice the 326 ones are like $100 cheaper than the Y-square ones, but everyone claims the Y-square ones are better quality. I'm here to show you guys that they're literally the same thing rebranded. There's a 326 sticker on top of a Y-square box if you look through the bubble wrap. So save yourselves $100 and get the 326 ones. They're the same thing. But yeah, let's throw the wheels on and see how it looks. I took the spacer off that came on the rear of the car, and this is the craziest looking spacer I've ever seen in my life. It's like ribbed, non-hub centric, and there's like pictures of cars all throughout it, so it's weird. We got the car on the ground. It's really on cinder blocks in the front and ramps on the back just to get the suspension slightly settled so we could get an idea of ride height. In my opinion, the front is pretty good. I do want it lower, but also at the same time, I don't want to buckle the fenders yet. I think if I put a little spacer on the front, it'll be money. The rear though, it's a slightly higher than I want it. I would like to have the quarter probably around like right here. So I think I'm gonna jack the rear up and lower it some more. But this is my first time seeing like the OG bronze LMGT4's on this like gray color that everyone hates with S15s, and I think it looks hard. It reminds me of like that Nismo Amori look from like the early 2000s. But yeah, one thing you guys might notice that are LMGT4 purists and TE purists is I did put center caps on these, which is kind of like blasphemy. I know everyone hates running center caps on like TEs and LMGT4s, but the hub area on this car is so crusty looking. It's like undercoated and rusty. So I was like, I don't want to look at that. I put the center caps on. But yeah, if you guys like center caps, let me know. If you guys hate center caps, I already know you're out there. But yeah, let's lower the rear and see how much better it could look with just a little bit more of a drop. So we got the car fully back together. I ended up putting the headlights on without the new lenses because I got a little lazy, and honestly, I just don't have the brain power to do it right now. But the bumper's on, the headlight's on, the car is on the ground and looking perfect. Let me know what you guys think about it. The only things I will say is the front is a little sunk, but I did order a 15 mil bolt-on spacer to fix that. And the rear is also a little high and a little sunk, but to do anything about the rear, I need to get extended studs, so we're just gonna pretend like that's not a thing right now. But in terms of stance boy, like nice looking cars, I think this is pretty solid. Let me know what you guys think. But more importantly, what do you think, camera woman?
I like it.
Yeah. For those of you guys that don't know, I actually ended up buying this car, and I'm kind of making it so the camera woman has a cool car to drive around. It's kind of her car. It's not really my car. I say it's my car, but I'm basically building it for her. But yeah, a little bit of things you guys could look forward to in the future. I was not planning on walking in the garage. That's why this is a little awkward, but I did finally get the rest of the 6-speed swap for the car. That is a OEM S15 6-speed. It is not a Nismo one like I wanted, but whatever. I did get a Nismo single plate high horsepower spec clutch, and then I do have everything else for the manual swap here. So there is also a one-piece drive shaft by Drive Shaft Shop down there. But yeah, I have everything to do a 6-speed swap on this, but I don't know when I'm gonna do it. We'll see. Thank you guys for watching. Bo's barking, so we'll see you in the next one.